Hey y'all, I'm James Wright. Welcome to my shop, and this has a story to tell. So I was recently at Hand Plane Haven, and I was looking through all of the antique tools. There were lots of them, and it was a lot of fun. But I came across this thing and thought, wait a second, what is that? The proprietor of the stall then said, well, why don't you tell me what it is? At first glance, the tote is turned and at an angle, much like you'd expect to find on a shooting board plane. And because of that similarity, a lot of people kind of jumped to that conclusion. But I've never seen a dedicated shooting board plane with a knob. You don't want to use this two-handed because you need another hand to hold the board that you're shooting. Number two, the bed on this is wide and lets this balance. So when you're shooting, you're actually keeping this at 90 degrees. On this, the bed is very narrow, so when you're shooting it would tip very easily. It's not a shooting board plane. There's a small piece that was added on to lengthen out this arm at some point, but it is made of a very similar wood, aged about the same, and so my guess is this is actually original to the maker. If not made when this was first created, it came very soon after. You'll see punched in here, Ranstead, 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 Ranstead on the back. Traditionally, from a factory-made plane, you would actually find the maker on the nose of the plane, and then the user would then stamp across the top or on the heel. Though that's not 100%, it was actually a fairly common practice. You'll see the user's name in other places and the maker in one spot. This plane, for instance, is one of my favorite. Here on the toe of the plane, you can actually see the maker's stamp right here. But then one user stamped it there, and another user there, and another user there, and another user down here, and then even more users on the back end. This was a very well-loved plane that a lot of people claimed over the years. But this one only has the one name, which makes me guess that this was actually made by the user as opposed to it being made by a factory. But the maker did a really nice job on it. You can actually see the rounded chamfer that continues all the way up around, and did a very traditional style with a square nose and a rounded back where your palm would go. Very much like most molding planes, you'll see that square nosed with the rounded chamfer coming all the way back to a rounded heel. The maker of this plane knew what he was doing. The tote on this was not modified from another existing tote. It was made exactly for this particular use. It's not something that was cobbled together. You can see with the angle on here, there wouldn't be any other tote that would have a large piece like that, and actually did a really nice job. And this one has a screw through the nose of the tote and another screw that comes from the body to hold it in. The knob was relatively well turned, but is a little bit rougher and more simple. Though very intriguing, it was actually made from the center of a branch or small piece with the pith of the wood going right through the middle. And it hasn't split, so it was actually a nice piece of wood. That too is also screwed in from the other side. The main body came from one block of wood. Other than this piece that was put on, this is all one solid piece of wood. So someone had to rabbet out a large chunk with a double angle on here. Someone really knew what they were doing to make this piece. And then on the outside edge, you see what most people would think of as a wear plate, as much as it is a stabilizer to hold these two pieces parallel. Because the blade comes out here, that means this is the sole of the plane, and you need to keep this piece parallel with this piece. So you need something to hold them together. That's why there's a thin plate out here. Then if you really look closely at this piece, there's actually a notch out here, and it thins out so that the iron with that little corner can actually stick out flush to the outside surface and come right out to it. The iron, though, is a very interesting little piece. Much like a molding plane, it slides in through a bed and comes up into a single tang and comes out here. This was blacksmith made. You can see how this would have been bent over. This would have been a long straight piece coming out here, and this piece would have been bent into place, upset. And you can see the hammering to shape it out and kinked up in the middle. That was, someone had a little bit of fun making that. But this one solid piece is parallel and flat all the way across. I originally thought it might have been made from an old file because there are a lot of marks coming across in here, but I believe those are just hammer marks. The tang on this is not 90 degrees to the edge. It's actually bent off a little ways, as the body on here isn't actually 90 degrees to the bed. It is bent off a little ways. It also has this little point that sticks out on the side. That point is what allows it to get all the way to the outside edge of this plate. Someone put a lot of time into making this thing, but the question is, what for? Who would make this, and why would they make this? If you look down inside the ejecting hole here, it was all carved and shaped out with this cone shape that comes into a flat surface. It doesn't continue onto the other side. It actually extends into this just a little bit, and it's probably about an 1/8 inch thick at the back here. You can see the marks from when it was made, when they were scribed out for where the hole was cut, extend past on either side. And this one is right on the line, but this one back here, they actually had to extend it back a little farther. So you can see he was making it fit. As he put it in there and tested it with the iron, it wasn't quite where he needed, so he took off a little more material on that side to allow the iron to swing over a little bit more. This plane tells the story of someone who knew what they were doing, someone who was a proficient woodworker, someone who had made planes before, and they needed a plane to do a very odd job. Something that would have been one-off, something that they could blacksmith out of steel they had in the shop, but they could do a good job because it was something that they were going to have to do more than just once. After I bought this at the tool show, I then took it around to about 24 people who I trusted, people who know antique tools far better than I do, people who have been around these and have seen all sorts of weird things. And everyone would immediately look at it and think, oh, it's a shooting, no, it's not a shooting board plane, I don't know. I haven't seen one like that before. And no one had actually seen this particular style of plane before. With the exception of about half of them, after looking at it for 30 seconds or a minute, said, wait a second, that kind of looks like something. That looks like a really big side rabbet plane. If you haven't seen a side rabbet plane, it's kind of an interesting, weird plane. It's a tool that is designed to take a groove and make it wider. I've got a bunch of videos on this if you want to go see it. This particular one is the Stanley 79. Stanley also made a pair, this one is 2, that would actually be 2 separate ones, the 98 and 99. And they made the sides of rabbets a little bigger, or most commonly the sides of grooves, though you could use it on a rabbet, or any other rabbeting plane could do that. If you have a groove that a board needs to fit into, you usually want to make that groove ever so slightly smaller and then make it a little bigger to fit the exact board. But most of the time, if you're making it with a hand tool, you're making this groove as big as the iron you have. So you usually have to make it the smaller size and then enlarge it to fit the board. If you're doing it with power tools, you actually do it in 2 passes to make it exact. But with hand tools, you make it slightly smaller and make it bigger. And that's where this comes in. This can actually stick into that groove, and because the blades are on the side, they can actually cut into the side of the groove and make it bigger, shaving by shaving to make it sneak right up on that. And this thing has all those characteristics. It is designed to be held this way, just like you would with the side rabbet plane. It's big enough so you can get both in there and you can actually plane the side of a groove. It has a thin profile so it can fit down into that groove and plane the side of it. It really looks like a side rabbet plane, a really big side rabbet plane. The question is, what grooves would be that big and deep that you would need a side rabbet plane for them? And everyone we asked was kind of like, I don't know. I'm sure maybe in boat building or in timber framing or in log cabins, something like that, there might be some place where there's a big groove that you need to make a precise width, so you have to have a plane going down into that groove to widen it out. The other answer is you come in with a chisel and you actually chisel the groove a little wider. Though if you're working with a longer section, that may take a little while. To have a plane that's set up and could do that would actually be pretty useful. Someone made this and knew woodworking. Someone made this and knew planes. They knew exactly what they wanted and they had a particular task for it, and they needed this plane to do it well and do it more than once. And they made a really nice plane to do that task. The question is, what groove would have this fit into? And there's where I've hit a dead end. I've tried Google, I've tried several other resources, I've contacted several other people about it, and no one really has a solid answer on it. A bunch of people have some decent guesses, but no background paperwork or no explanation of this being used in any particular way. And if you have any information, I would love to hear that, because, well, because I haven't found it yet, and I really would like to. Someone put a decent amount of passion and love into making this thing and made a really cool functioning tool. And I would love to show it off in use, but I don't have a groove that big. Okay, you asked for it. I'll attempt to put it to use. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a groove that big, so I'm going to kind of replicate it by putting in a board here and try to plane the side of it while running along this way. Let's see what we get. Needs to be a little heavier. Oh wow. Ha! Actually took a shaving. It's taking a shaving out of the middle. Let me try advancing it a little bit. There's something heavier. Ha 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 ha. It is hard to hold in and put that much force into it. But it's doing it. It's taking a shaving right off the side. That's actually kind of impressive. I have to do a little tweaking, but... Whew, that was heavy. Let's not do that heavy. Or maybe let's keep doing it heavy. Yeah, it would work as a side rabbet plane getting into a groove. And surprisingly, I didn't even sharpen this thing. It actually takes shavings. So, functional. Is that what it was intended to do? I don't know, but most signs point to yes. If you have any particular information on this or actually have some actual resources on it, not just guesses and thoughts about it, please let me know. I'd love to see that. Because until I find out more, I'm just left guessing a little bit. And I'm kind of like where this is going because this is a very interesting little plane. I'd love to find out more. So I hope you like this. If you do have any other information, questions, ideas, signed remarks, throw those in the comments down below. It does help out the channel anytime you do that. Thank you. It helps us out. No, really, thank you. All of the people scrolling over here are the patrons on Patreon. They're the ones that allow me to buy things like this to show you. Because yes, I actually went to the show and bought things for myself, and they'll be making videos out of them as we go. If you'd like to find out more about that and help out this channel, think about becoming a patron or a member. We do offer special bonuses for both, as well as some giveaways from time to time. There's links down below, or say thank you to anyone you see over here on the side. I think that'll do it for today, and until next time, have a wonderful day. A side rabbet plane works inside of grooves, and that's why it's called a side rabbet plane. Those grooves take you off on rabbit trails.